Welcome to r/Murderedbywords, where people get put in their place. My brother-in-law would sit at Thanksgiving dinner and smugly spout off these inane anti-vax facts about how these diseases were on their way out anyways as the vaccinations were developed. His dad started speaking to him in sign language, and my ex-brother-in-law started talking back in sign language, and my ex-father-in-law finally said, "So, you know how I taught you sign language when you were small and why I learned to sign? I use sign language because your uncle lost his hearing from polio and subsequently died at 17. You are less than one generation removed from polio, and you had the audacity to sit at a table and claim vaccines are a hoax? You're an entitled turd, and your ego is going to cause many people pain and suffering just because you have to think you're the smartest person in the room." Maybe before you start talking out of your butt, you should do a quick survey to see if anyone else in the room has actually had someone die because of a lack of vaccines. Why do I need an AR-15? Because someday the government may tell me I'm not allowed to put my sick son on a plane and fly him to Italy for treatment. And believe me when I tell you, I will be putting him on that plane. I need an AR-15 in case I need to hijack a plane and fly my son to a country with socialized healthcare is currently my favorite take on gun ownership. I'd love to see this guy walk into an airport with an AR-15 and be like, "No, sir, you misunderstand. The Second Amendment means I can carry this gun on this plane, so step off." Welcome, new black and brown followers. To my new white followers who are self-described anti-racists, please note there are no medals here for you. That you, as a white person, will be implicated as part of the problem. I suspect many of you will unfollow, like those before you. Practicing racism while fighting racism. Welcome to 2019, lol. So, in case you don't know who this is, she ran for Congress in Denver, a city with a 77% white population. Considering she said things like this all the time, is it any wonder why she lost the election? Think of every D-brand purchase as a bribe. Remember when your skins effed up our switches? You mean the ones we shipped exactly 0 of because we caught the issue within the pre-order window, then published a PSA on Reddit about the problem that got over 30,000 upvotes and hit #1 on rSlash, following which we provided 100% refunds to every Switch skin pre-order? Spent the next year working with 3M to come up with the material and adhesive solution, then eventually launched the version you see here, the ones which are unanimously recognized as the #1 selling Nintendo Switch skins on the planet? Yes, you moron, we remember. Sheesh, you effing killed him, dude. I don't care about Switch skins, but I'm gonna go buy one just because of how savage that post is. This sign was posted on a notice board in a doctor's office. Not vaccinating your kids leaves them vulnerable to disease their whole lives. When your daughter gets rubella when pregnant, how are you going to explain that you chose to leave her at risk? What will you say when she calls you and tells you she has cervical cancer because you decided that she wouldn't need the HPV vaccine? What do you tell your son when he breaks the news to you that he cannot have kids thanks to the mumps he got as a teenager? And what do you say when he gives influenza to his grandma? How do you explain that she won't be coming home from the hospital? Not ever. Do you tell them that you didn't think these diseases were that serious? That you thought that your organic, home-cooked food was enough to protect them? Do you say, "Sorry"? Honestly, I think the game plan for anti-vaxxers is that they won't have to say sorry because their kids will be dead by the age of 5. Stop feeding him so much pizza, lol. It's cheap and delicious. Yes, but vegetables and fruits are also delicious. I appreciate your concern. I know that since you work pre-K, you think you're qualified to tell me what's good for my son. You're not. He eats plenty of fruits and vegetables. Just because I share a few pics of him eating pizza doesn't mean he eats it every day. That's like me assuming all you do is wear shirts with your tits hanging out every day. Perspective, right? Don't effing tell me what's good for my son again. That escalated real quickly. When girls go out wearing tiny, tight, skimpy outfits, I mean, they have the choice to wear something else, something less provocative, so really girls are asking for it. If you're out in public and I see you're not wearing any protective headgear, does that give me the right to smash in your skull with a hammer? I mean, you asked for it, since you're not wearing something to protect your head. I would bet my entire YouTube channel that the guy in this post makes posts elsewhere talking about how much of a nice guy he is. I mean, he doesn't rape girls despite the fact that they're clearly asking for it, so that must make him a nice guy, right? Women get mostly infertile at 40 but live to be 80. Without a family, what are you going to do with those 40 long years? See the world, experience beauty, create art, support their mothers and fathers and sisters and brothers, fall in love, find joy, ascend in business, achieve recognition, and dance on your grave when you die alone. Unnoticed and unknown, you hateful, misogynistic butt clown. They freaking used Getty image photos of a shark and cropped it onto their poster. LMFAO. The DC Extended Universe is a freaking joke. That's what stock photos are for. Did you think they actually photographed a dude chilling with sharks? The Human Rights Foundation plans to airdrop 100,000 copies of The Interview into North Korea using balloons. Have you ever read anything stupider in your entire life? This isn't a joke. This is a real thing that is going to happen. 100,000 North Korean citizens are going to potentially get executed over a group of liberal Americans that want a pat on the back. Hey blank, maybe you want to do 3 seconds worth of research before opening your fat mouth next time. It's being dropped by a liberation group in South Korea, led by a man who escaped North Korea. And this man was broken free of Kim's indoctrination and ultimately motivated to escape that heckhole that is named North Korea because of, wait for it, airdropped copies of the movie Titanic and DVD players. That was literally the first bit of information of the outside world he had ever received. The notion of dying for anything other than the regime had never even crossed his mind before watching Jack die for a woman he loved. And having been living in North Korea for most of his life, he knows there is an extreme demand for this kind of thing. Citizens risk life and limb just to get a small reminder that there is a world outside their prison of a country, and their leader, Kim Jong-un, isn't some all-powerful, godlike figure, giving them hope for a better life someday. But you morons will try to deny them this, all because some dickweeds on Tumblr want a reason to bash Americans, even if you have literally no indication that what you're mocking them for was even their doing. So props to the Tumblr community for once again demonstrating that you never do any effing research, and that you don't actually give a flip about helping oppressed people. My stepmom told me I'd be a janitor, nothing wrong with that, and live in the basement of a school and play guitar for the rats. I wrote a song about her. It's called Little Miss Can't Be Wrong. It's been played on the radio 3 million times. Yo, imagine turning on the radio and hearing a song about how much of a Karen you are. I would never mate with someone from India. They got birth defects running heavy as heck in their blood. No. I'm sure the people of India are greatly relieved. I don't think we have to worry about this guy mating with Indians. Guys like this are too busy mating with their sisters. My tweet about mass shootings occurring more than once per day this year in the US has spawned many downplaying the seriousness based on definition. I'm sorry, but having 4 or more people injured or killed in a shooting every day is not a normality for any Western country, LMAO. Let me know which Western nation you'd rather live in and I'll buy you a plane ticket there. Imagine being so single-mindedly focused on America that you challenge a Canadian to name a country that's nicer to live in than America. There's no point in arguing with a Canadian because if you hurt their feelings, they can just go to the doctor and get their feelings checked. For free. Girls will pound themselves silly with a piece of plastic while leaving a good man that will love them till the end of time in the friend zone. Tony, if someone leaves you for a piece of plastic, it's not the piece of plastic. You can choose only one. 1. Soulmate. 2. $70 million. 3. Time machine. Which door will you open? Time machine. Go back and prevent the time I followed your sucky content. Besides, this is the dumbest question I've ever heard. With the time machine, you could easily get more than 70 million by winning every single lottery ever made. I absolutely shut down my conservative Christian uncle, and I don't think things will be the same. So my conservative Christian uncle was ranting about something to do with climate change when I walked into the room, and he ended the rant with, "All I know is it was cold last winter and the winter before, so I reckon all that global warming talk is just liberal BS to try and scare us." He then looked at me, knowing I was not of the same opinion, and said, "So what do you think, Mr. The World's on Fire?" I should go ahead and mention right now that he is a lymphoma survivor. I replied, "No, you're right. And I ate today, so world hunger must not be an issue either. Hey, we both slept inside last night, so homelessness must not be real. And while we're at it, I have never had cancer personally, so it must be a lie you made to scare me, right?" He looked at me with the most empty, dead look I have ever seen. There were 4 people in the room, and they couldn't believe what I just said to my uncle, a cancer survivor. I left, went home, and drank a beer. F 'em. Worship him who made the heavens, the earth, the sea, and the springs of water. 1 Timothy 2:12. I do not permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. Imagine trying to showcase how much of a Christian you are, and an atheist knows more about your book than you do. If you're Irish and you complain about Britain erasing culture but can't even speak the language or don't know anything about Ireland before 1910, then just shut your cake hole. Nobody cares. Them being Irish and not being able to speak the language and not knowing anything about Ireland before 1910 is a direct result of Britain erasing culture. You goddamn vitamin D deficient circus clown. Oh, so sorry for truck drivers. They make their living sitting on their butt. Too lazy to have a real job. The next time you go to the store to buy all the stuff you need, I think you need to remember how all that stuff got there for you. Truckers are away from friends and families with children for weeks, sometimes months at a time, just so you can buy that cucumber your wife is gonna pleasure herself with later while thinking of your neighbor. That guy needs some aloe vera for that burn, but unfortunately, no truckers will deliver it to him. Atheists, if God isn't real, how do you explain walking on water? Can you walk on water like Jesus? Yes. Show me a video of you walking on water. I don't need to. You just need to have faith that I did. Should people without children be banned from Disney World? Tell you what, Karen, I'll stop going to Disney World when you stop bringing your tiny, screaming booger factories to the movies, restaurants, or anywhere beside your house or a playground, frankly. Eat garbage. On that note, I went to go see the live-action Lion King movie the other day, and literally the entire time, some family with their 2 kids were just talking non-stop. The kids were just going on and on. Mommy, look, it's a lion. Yeah, moron, it's Lion King. Back on the dating scene. Watch out, boys. This mama is on hashtag Christian Mingle, hashtag single mom, hashtag dating, hashtag love. Wow, didn't you shame me for doing the same thing? Lol, good luck, girly. Don't do anything too sinful. Like getting a divorce. Lol, I'm just kidding. XOXO. There's a difference between being cheated on and having an open door policy between our legs. Lol. Oh, so you forgot your 4 abortion appointments I took you to during our high school years? I did the same thing you did. I just decided to take care of mine. Lol. How do I delete someone else's tweet? One day, maybe in 10 years, 20 years, or even tomorrow, you'll find yourself eating a sumptuous dessert, whether it be a muffin, souffle, or whatever, only to find that all the powdered sugar has been replaced with raw, unprocessed flour. Oh, it's fine, you'll think to yourself, but 3 days later, you'll wake up at 9:17 p.m. and feel your stomach cramping and aching. The next day, you'll see a doctor, only for them to diagnose you with fatal E. coli poisoning. So when you're on your deathbed, after saying all your sweet farewells to your family, friends, and childhood sweetheart, I will materialize at your bedside, holding a pre-grated cheddar cheese grilled sandwich. I will hold this sandwich half a foot in front of your face. Stunned, you'll just stare thinking, why the F is this guy holding a pre-grated cheddar grilled cheese sandwich exactly half a foot from my face? But then you remember this comment, this Neanderthal troglodytic comment, and you'll realize why. As soon as the revelation hits you, the last slither of your worthless life will leave your body, and the last thing you'll ever see is my sucky, pre-grated cheddar grilled cheese sandwich half a foot in front of your face. And you'll think, maybe I shouldn't have insulted that guy's sandwich on Reddit, before dropping dead. Your face will be at a 37-degree angle to the bed, staring up at my sandwich. I will then place the sandwich on your face. Watch yourself, mother effer. That was rSlash Murderedbywords, and if you like my content, please hit the like button and definitely subscribe to my channel for more daily Reddit content.